Hi, I'm Sarah Williams from Brock Harcourt's, Mile End and Flinders Park. Today's iSuburb segment will be focusing on Torrensville. I hope you enjoy it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Open House, and as you can see, I've been joined by the very beautiful Sarah Williams. How are you, Sarah?
Well, thank you, Moulton.
And your birthday was just lovely?
Yes, it was. Thank you very much.
Good girl. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We're going to throw to a iSuburb and find out all about Torrensville. So it's a really, really interesting segment. I think we'll just get straight into it, Sarah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Torrensville is located 2 kilometres west of the centre of Adelaide. Torrensville has a predominantly Greek Australian population following mass migration in the middle of the 20th century. Revitalisation of the Adelaide's inner suburbs has made Henley Beach Road a vibrant shopping area with many cafes, only a few minutes' walk from Torrensville. The Brickworks Market is also popular with locals, open every Friday, Saturday, Sunday and public holidays from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m, located at 36 South Road, Torrensville. Torrensville is an area full of potential for those looking to buy their first home or renovate and develop much of the area. Torrensville, an inner city lifestyle without the price tag.
Well, that's iSuburb Torrensville, Sarah. Quite an interesting little spot.
It is. Torrensville's definitely one of the up-and-coming suburbs.
So let me see. Brickworks Market, have you been there?
Not very recently.
I remember my wife dragging me around Brickworks Market when we were going out about 20-odd years ago, so that must have been ages
I remember going
old.
as a kid too.
Do you?
Yes.
What else do we have? The Cosmopolitan shopping strip along Henley Beach Road really has come on.
There's some really good supermarkets and cafes now. It's really sort of the place to be. That's not right in the beach or in the city, but somewhere easy, accessible.
What are we talking? A couple of k's from the city?
Yeah, 2 to 3 k's out of the city.
And beach?
2 sets of traffic lights. You're at Torrensville.
There you go. And down to the beach?
Probably about another 6 or 7 k.
Perfect, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
As far as the location goes,
It is.
absolutely perfect. Righto, that's enough talking about Torrensville. Let's talk about you.
Oh.
All about you. So, my agent, Sarah Williams. How did you start your real estate career?
I started back in 2000 up in the Adelaide Hills with an agent called Noni Miles.
Yeah, I know Noni.
I started as just an office junior there, and then I was there for about 18 months, and then I moved to Brock Harcourt. So I've been with Brock's for about 9 years now.
And did you go straight into sales with Brock's?
No, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to work as a personal assistant alongside some of Adelaide's top agents, and that really gave me a lot of confidence and knowledge without the risk factor involved, perhaps with having your name on the board.
Sure.
But gave me a lot of insight to the industry, and I knew what I was up for when I stepped out into it.
We're trying to develop people into our industries, particularly young people like yourself. Is that a good way to go? So instead of going straight into sales, to actually assist somebody that's...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the other firms out there, not just in Adelaide, across Australia, sort of give you a desk and a phone and the phone book, or perhaps even not even a computer.
You get Google now.
Yeah.
You don't get phone books.
And they sort of go, away you go, off you go, and you sort of go, well, where do we start to from here? And there's a lot more to it. And I know that your certificate teaches you the legalities of it, but not so much the on-hands, how selling real estate is in day-to-day life.
What have you found the most challenging aspects of real estate?
I think it's keeping on top of the market. A market can change very rapidly. Things like the election, interest rate hikes, and Adelaide's very sensitive to what they read in perhaps an article even in the Sunday Mail.
Yeah.
So being on top of that, you really need to be out there and asking questions of the buyers and the sellers, and it can change quite rapidly. So for me, it's I'm very cautious of when I appraise property. I'm definitely not an agent who goes and buys a listing and tells them such a dream price just for the sake of it. I like to be really conservative and make sure it's definitely achievable.
Yeah, facts and figures. Now, one of your strengths, I've got what I think is one of your strengths, but what do you perceive to be?
I think my strength is the fact that I started right at the bottom, and I've been doing it now for not far off of 10 years.
Yep.
Someone perhaps in my age group would not have had that experience. So I think I've got the combination of being young and enthusiastic, but also I really do pride myself on customer service. So, and coming from a personal assistant background, I pay attention to the details, but I'm also very results driven because I know at the end of the day that's what counts.
That's why you're in our top 10 quite regularly. I'd say communication's the other one. Your communication's awesome, and you're sort of starting to get into the social media side of life, and you're leading that communication vehicle as well.
I don't know how anyone can not be good at communicating these days with Facebook, SMS, email, internet, websites. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
And that's what the clients want.
It is, and it's also the information you put on there, and I love reading your stuff. Generally, just through the area of, are we going to talk about Torrensville?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's your
place,
your
that's
point
my
of contact?
specialties, Torrensville and surrounding suburbs.
What sort of price ranges have we got through there?
Look, you can, the bar has risen, and you can't really purchase anything much in a house form or even a masonette under 400,000. I think in the state, the average median price is around 445, and I don't think Torrensville will be too far off of that.
No.
But they've got some really good quality turn period homes, as well as some newer homes that are popping up. There's not a lot of them, and I think the value is in the land and its proximity to the city and the beach. So there's still some really good family-sized blocks there that are reasonably affordable, but I think we're catching suburbs like Mile End and even in the eastern suburbs quite rapidly.
It's been a real change of the demographic. A lot more younger people moving in, am I right? That's the feel of it.
Yes, absolutely. We're finding a lot of the siblings from eastern suburb families are purchasing because they like the character homes, but they're not quite as expensive as the eastern suburb homes. And there's a lot of Greek and Italian background and ethnic people in Torrensville, which is fantastic. So you can go to the local supermarket and their shelves are filled with the most delicious, all sorts of things, which you wouldn't normally get in a normal supermarket. My
father-in-law is Italian, and every time he's down here, we do exactly that.
Yes.
He knows every little Italian shop around the place. It's absolutely awesome. The popularity of Torrensville and, in fact, the western suburbs has grown. So method of sale, are you auctioning more property?
Yes. Yeah, we find actually last year Torrensville had the highest clearance rates for property sold at auction.
Yeah.
And they ran a feature article in the Advertiser a couple of months back about that. We find that because of the new legislation surrounding auctions, that buyers really prefer that method because it is highly sought after. It's a very clear and transparent way of selling, and usually if there's a bit of competition involved, the vendors can benefit from that.
Very good. I'm glad you used the word transparent, because I think the buyers these days, or the consumers, are that comfortable with the process. It's just fantastic. Sarah, Torrensville for the rest of 2010, is it up and away, or steady, or where do we see?
It's steady at the moment, but I think that would be due to the fact there's a lot of investors in the marketplace at the moment, and I think once the election's been and gone and we know who's in power, that will sort out a few things.
Yes.
And
any tips on that? Who's going to win?
I don't know.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I was going to say which bozo, but well, it just depends. It really, politics are not my thing.
It is one of those elections, though, isn't it? It's, there's no real clear, I reckon you are the one.
No,
so.
I'm not. I tend to focus my time on real estate, not politics.
Good girl. Yeah, we'll get whatever we get, don't we?
Yeah.
All right, so you're fairly steady all the way through to Christmas time.
I would like to think that springtime... traditionally, I've always thought that winter is a better time to sell because you don't have so much competition. With the election being based in winter this year, that's sort of thrown that theory out the window for this year.
Right.
I think spring will be quite strong, and there's always a need for buying and selling a real estate regardless, so I think we'll be good.
Good girl. It's interesting, the spring thing, because I always thought, without looking at stats until recently, that spring would have been one of the more popular seasons, but it's actually the third most popular season to sell your property, which is
it's
a surprise.
A bit of a... I would say a lot of agents jump on the bandwagon for marketing in spring. I think it's the last real time frame if you're looking at auctioning or anything to get in before, so you settle before Christmas. So I think coincidentally it's spring, but unless you've got a house or property with botanic gardens, I don't think the value is neither here nor there. And in fact, if there's more properties on the market, it kind of dilutes the market.
Sure.
So I've just said something that probably most agents totally disagree with.
No, well, the stats prove you to be right, Sarah. So there you go. You're a stat girl, and the stats say that you're right.